Peace be with you. Dear friends, welcome to Living Flame Podcast website and Facebook group. Gospel reflections for Friday in the 19th week in the ordinary time. Gospel according to St. Matthew chapter 19 verses 3 to 12. Well, here some of the Pharisees approach Jesus and test him, asking a question. Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for any cause whatever? He said in reply, have you not read that from the beginning the Creator made them male and female, and said, for this reason a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall be one flesh, for they are no longer two but one flesh. Therefore what God has joined together, no human being must separate. This is what we celebrate on the wedding day, when the priest blesses after the vows are exchanged between man and woman. Priest says, what God has joined together, no human being must separate. So right from the beginning, God made it very clear that a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. They are one in body, one in spirit, and one in everything that they do. That is the mystery and the beauty of Christian marriage. So this is a great moment for all of us to reflect the sacredness of Christian marriage, or for that matter any other marriage that happens between man and woman. So there are commitments and there are conditions, and that is a contract and that is a covenant. And that is why these two become one flesh. Practically, their mind and their activities should be pointed to one particular thing, the covenant that they have made between one another. As God has made this covenant with humanity, God promised that He would redeem humanity. God promised that He would send His Son to mankind to redeem them from their sinfulness. So that is a covenant. That's a kind of contract God made with humanity. Now, human making a contract with another human being, male and female, that is what we are discussing here. Well, the Pharisees want to trap Jesus. They said to him, then why did Moses commanded that the man give the woman a bill of divorce and dismiss her? Well, Jesus continues to say, because of the hardness of your hearts, Moses allowed you to divorce your wives. But from the beginning, it was not so. From the beginning, God made these two important primordial humans, man and woman, that they should be together in marriage, and how they should bring up a family, how they should work together. They become one in everything that they do. Well, Jesus says, whoever divorces his wife, unless the marriage is unlawful, and marries another, commits adultery. That is going against the sixth commandment. And the disciples were frustrated at what Jesus said. Probably divorce was very common, and they could divorce their partner for any reason. But then Jesus was precisely insisting here, unless the marriage is unlawful, then only it can be dissolved. But actually there is no divorce. The marriage practically, according to Jesus, did not happen at the time of marriage. It was an unlawful marriage. In such cases, there is a kind of separation. That is what we in the Catholic Church we say annulment of the marriage. There is no divorce in the church. So that should be very clear in our mind. That is what Jesus set before us. The disciples were frustrated, and that's why they said, if that is the case of a man with his wife, it is better not to marry. They had some reason when they uttered those words. And then Jesus continues to give a very clear answer to what they said. Well, there are some incapable of marriage because they were born so. So this we can understand very clearly. And such people cannot marry, and even if they marry, their marriage would be sooner or later declared null and void because they are incapable of marriage. Because they have renounced marriage for the sake of the kingdom of heaven, some of them, they have renounced marriage for the sake of the kingdom of heaven because they have voluntarily given up marriage. That is what in the Catholic Church we say the Catholic priests and the religious who renounce marriage, or some of them who voluntarily give up marriage in order to dedicate their life for God's kingdom. Lay religious for that matter, those who do not want to marry, those who would like to continue to work for the kingdom of heaven, dedicate their life for the service of humanity. The religious and the priests, mandatorily because they have chosen to be so. So they continue to exercise their ministry in the church free from any marriage bond. Therefore, dear friends, on this gospel passage, when we reflect today, we have to pray for the married couples. We pray for the children. Sometimes the children suffer because of their parents. The parents are not faithful to one another, or parents are not responsible towards their children, and consequently very often the children become the victims of the parents' indifference or unfaithfulness. And therefore we need to pray for the families today, pray for the couples who are undergoing terrible tension, difficulties, problems, uncertainties, insecurities, unfaithfulness between them, and consequently they suffer. And we need to pray today in a very special way, meditating on this gospel passage, and we pray for ourselves. Whatever profession we have chosen, to be a priest or religious or married couples or lay religious, to be in the world and in the service of God's kingdom, we all of us have a mandate, and we need to continue to serve the humanity through whatever profession we have accepted in our lives. God bless you.